Welcome to The Entertainers, a candid, up-close, and personal look at tomorrow's superstars. And your host for The Entertainers, Joseph Harrison.
Emmett North Jr., who is an up-and-coming star, to say the very least. He has performed with Wolfman Jack, in fact, working on a new album with him, a TV pilot called the Wolfman Jack Radio Show. It's interesting. Scheduled to record on Isaac Hayes, a new project for 80, and Linda Clifford's new LP, and we'll talk about him and talk with him in a few minutes, but I want you to hear him and want everybody else to hear him. Emmett North Jr.
Hello, I'm Joseph Harrison, host for The Entertainers. Welcome aboard for a great show today. We have a dynamic personality that you're going to be hearing a great deal of in the 90s. He's a man that can do it all. He's a great singer, I've heard his stuff, and he's a tremendous guitar player. Welcome aboard, Mr. Emmett North Jr. Glad to have you with us.
Glad to be here, Joe.
You know, I've been looking forward to this interview for quite some time. I have to tell you right now that Emmett North is the eminent lead guitar player for Barry White. And having seen Barry on stage and Emmett doing his thing, the man is incredible. Enthusiasm abound. So I just knew this was going to be a dynamic interview. Tell us, when did you decide as a youth that being an entertainer was really what you wanted to focus your attention on?
I got into, I guess about 9 years old. I was surrounded by my mom, who she already was singing gospel, and a lot of my aunts and uncles on her side of the family were singing and playing in church, you know, different instruments. I got about 12 years old, and I had other friends whose parents were singing in gospel groups, and I became interested in learning to play the guitar and playing in some of these gospel groups. And that's how I got started in the beginning of my music.
Emmett, where exactly is home base? Where did you initially begin to build a foundation for what is now a very successful career?
Dayton, Ohio is where I grew up. I was born in a little town between Cincinnati and Dayton, Ohio called Middletown, Ohio. It's about 25 miles in each direction between the two cities. But basically I grew up in Dayton, Ohio, and that's where my music actually began to flourish as far as me getting into playing and listening to more entertainers around town, mentors, so to speak, guitar players that I admired. And later I went to the Army, and I continued to play when I was in the Army. You know, playing for the USO and touring different parts of Germany, playing for the troops at Christmas time, and so on.
Who exactly were your early mentors, those people who brought forth that sudden desire to really want to be a top entertainer?
Well, for his guitar playing, there was Chuck Berry, there was B.B. King. That was on a wide scale. On the local scale, there was a guy called Robert Ward, and there was a guy called Leroy Barner, who was Sugarfoot, the guitarist of the Ohio Players. There was other blues artists and female singers and things around town, which I would play sometimes on Sunday. I would play with the gospel groups, and then on Friday and Saturday I'd play rhythm and blues as a teenager, you know, 14 and 15, playing nightclubs. There was also another guy who got me started into this business, into just playing, was Big J. Bush and the House Rockers. And there was a girl who I backed up called Dottie Pearson at the time. Now she's singing gospel in Atlanta, Georgia, and going under the name of Dottie Peoples. And there was also one other guy who first came to pick me up when I was 12 to take me into the nightclubs, a blues singer from Dayton, Ohio, called Piney Brown. At that time, it was called Piney Brown and the Blues Toppers.
The Entertainers will be right back with more from Emmett North Jr. right after this.